All right, good. Thought for the day falls on to me. The theme might be correct your posture. You know how my mom would say, sit up straight, or put your shoulders back, or don't be hunched. You know, it's about correcting your posture, which is how you stand or how you sit. But posture is also how you approach the world. Sometimes we can be self-absorbed and because we're frightened, or we get locked into kind of self-preoccupation because we're fearful. That's a posture that we kind of greet the world with. Remember years ago when I was going through chemotherapy, I had sort of stopped going to do masses in the camps and juvenile halls, but for a time. But I wanted to go visit this kid named Joseph who was in the SHU at Central Juvenile Hall. And because he was 17 years old, tried as an adult, and was just given 5 years for a carjacking. Now, he didn't jack any car, but he happened to be with a guy who, they were in their own car, who said, excuse me a second. He had a bat, and he went to this Asian couple, and he kind of threatened with the bat and said, give me your car. Nobody was hurt. The guy was the one who stole the car. Joseph was just, guilty of having bad friends or something, but he got 5 years in prison, so that was no joke. First time he'd ever been to prison. He was just a little guy. So I went to go see him in the SHU, and he greeted me. They pulled him out of the room. He greeted me with a big abrazo. Then he sat down, and then he was totally hunched over. He wouldn't look me in the eye. Dan, 5 years, prison. My lawyer, she didn't help me for nothing, he says, and it's like she didn't even try. And then he said, now I'm going to prison for 5 years. And his posture was completely hunched over, and he wouldn't look at me. Then all of a sudden it was like he was electrocuted, like there was this current that coursed through his body. And he sat bolt upright, and he looked me straight in the eye, and he says, damn, you look pretty good. Like with the chemotherapy and everything. I expected you to lose more hair. I said, well, God had already handled that long ago. So I don't know. I thought you'd look all tore up, and you're not. I thought you would look like, Austin Powers' dog. I said, do you mean Dr. Evil's cat? And he said, yeah, that one right there. Well, it was a transformation from a guy who was self-absorbed, self-preoccupied, stuck in a fearful place, and suddenly, because he put his attention on another human being, he came alive. It was compassionate living. It was joyful. It was alive and bright and happy and fun. And he corrected his posture. He greeted the world looking it in the eyes, standing up straight, attentive to the needs of somebody other than himself. And it changed his life for that moment. So the invitation today is to correct your posture. Don't be hunkered down and laid low by your own fearful self-absorption. But find yourself being attentive to somebody else. And watch what happens. It'll correct your posture. It'll lead you to a place of great joy and happiness and selflessness.